Me at the back. Right up closer. Thank you, Duncan. Morning, everyone. My name's Mary Taylor and I work for the local authority. I'm the SCN Operational Planning and Development Manager and I deal with Post 16. So today I just want to update you. Hopefully a lot of you have heard about Project Rainbow already from previous Bristol Parent Care events. But I thought I'd just give you an update on where we are at the moment. So, first slide, please. So the main purpose of Project Rainbow, the reason why I got together was we actively wanted to develop opportunities for post-18 young people in the city because we were aware that we lacked, I suppose, high aspirations for our young people, causes that are available and having more options in the city. So we work collaboratively with parents, and Richard is kind of coming on stage with our Project Rainbow parents, and we also work with City Bristol College, and we've got a volunteer from the college, and with young people to look at the issues that we wanted to address. So the group met regularly. At the beginning it was every month we were meeting, so a lot of time and effort went into looking at Project Rainbow and how we can address our issues in Bristol. So the key outcomes, these are the key outcomes that the parents and the young people came up with. So we've got progressing academically and making sure that we're preparing our young people for employment. And that doesn't mean strictly full-time employment. It could be for some young people, it's voluntary, or it could be part-time work. The ability to live independently or semi-independently as adults, being part of their community is really vitally important. Following their leisure interests as adults, managing their daily health as independently as they possibly can, and to have independent information, advice and guidance, and identify their skills and interests to prepare them for being adults in our community. So, because today is all about transition, we thought it would be really good just to let you have some, hear from Annette and Richard about how they found the transition. So for our Project Rainbow young people, they started at college in September. So I'm just going to hand over to Annette and then Richard, just to hear how they found transition. It's a bit of an introduction for today.
Hello everybody. Okay, so the Project Rainbow students, they took part in Getting to Know College Days, which helped students know about the college layout. It also provided the young people with the opportunity to get to know staff at college and for us to get to know them, and for the key people that they were going to be working with moving forward, what the college layout was like, where the key places were to go, where they could find those staff that they needed to speak to if they needed to. They also took part in informal visits, and it gave them, again, that opportunity and the access to some of the facilities within the college during that time. They took part in mock lessons as well, and kind of resilience to build up to what a full college day would look like, and taking part in some of the activities that were going to be on offer within the timetable as well, so they could choose some of those vocational areas. So it was a bit of a try and test. And it was really about those full steps, those next steps. So that's about the students coming into college. Parents also came in. We had joint meetings. And college staff also went out to schools. They linked in with the Senko at the school and spoke to the key staff there at school as well, and the young people. They were very, very much at the heart of all of the transition process. I'll hand over to Richard now.
Hi, I've got no slides, very informal. So my name is Richard Biggins. I'm a dad, a Project Rainbow dad, and my daughter Charlotte, and I guess it's asking me to talk about transition. If I can, a bit of time to talk about Rainbow specifically as well. So the transition was actually went really well. I'll talk about it from my daughter's standpoint, my daughter Charlotte, if you like a picture of them, imagine. So I'll talk about it from her perspective and also from mine as a parent. But one thing I was just thinking now is that it did go really well. A lot of it down to the preparation that Annette was talking about. But one realisation, so my daughter's 18 now as she was coming through transitioning to college. This is probably her fourth transition. So she's been through a couple of different schools. She did nursery. We were both working full time, so having to juggle all this. But the reality is this is probably her fourth major transition. So she took it in her stride, really, because all the stuff that was going on around her and she's quite used to it. And I think comparing with some of the other so-called kids, some of the other kids, they didn't find it so easy. And those are the kids that have been in the same school for goodness knows how long, their whole life. So when it did come to transition, for them it was a really big deal. So I think that's probably an important point to get across. Where kids are out, moving about all the time, this sort of stuff is easy. If they spend their entire life at one school, it's going to be a lot harder. Also, there's character involved in there as well. But generally speaking, from my daughter's perspective, the transition was really very straightforward. It was very much sort of rolled into it gently, got to meet the teachers, see the new place. The whole thing was a giant adventure. It was no trouble at all, really. They all had good fun. And certainly for Rainbow, they were amongst friends by this time. There's a group of 6 of them at Ashton Park, and they all moved in together anyway. So, it was just well managed, and it was just a huge fun for the kids. From my perspective, a parent perspective, it was actually more different than I expected it to be. The big difference is, and this is true for college anyway, I got a 23-year-old boy, entirely normal, went through all this himself, is we got much less communication. As our kids get older, there's more reliance on them remembering to bring stuff in, doing stuff themselves, doing whatever they need to do at home. We didn't get to hear much about that. We've been used to being spoon-fed this all the way through, from like school up to end of school. And we get notes home, don't forget to, the shoes, the wellies, all that sort of stuff, big long list of stuff. All that stopped. And it got a bit nerve-wracking to start with, because we're pretty sure Charlotte went in missing stuff most of the time. But actually that's an important part of it. They had to show up with stuff missing, feel stupid, and remember it next time. And I think that's a really important part of this age group, is the point at which they have to take responsibility for themselves. They're not chased around by parents all the time, like, she's dead. But they have to learn to do this, and the only way they'll really learn is the hard way. They're going to mess up, feel stupid, and do better next time. And this morning, last night, Charlotte said to me, "Oh, I need my walking boots." That's news to me. So she went and got them from the garage, rolled into college with them. I assume she needs them to go walking. But that's a development of her maturity that has really come on since she went to college. So I think that's an important part of it. From a parent standpoint, just discussing with Mary, it would be nice to have a bit more communication than we do. But it is really important that these kids really have a sense of responsibility. And that's why I just cover things on Rainbow. We're over time now. Yes. The house. It's really, the house is a big part of the Rainbow, the accommodation. That's all about these kids having to look after themselves much more formally without people chasing them. There's always people on hand, that's the whole point. But they have to realise that if they don't wash their clothes, they get dirty, that sort of stuff. So that's a really important part of it. That's why we're so keen on Project Rainbow, really. Anyway, I'll stop there. I'm out of time.
Yes, I will. So Carol's just saying I need to just fill in some blanks about Project Rainbow. So Project Rainbow was looking... Sorry? Okay, is that better? So Project Rainbow was looking at post-18 because a lot of our young people and parents feel that they need to go out of local authority to access the specialist education that they need, particularly the residential element. So learning those independent skills residentially. What we find is a lot of the times, and this is obviously is a blanket, but a lot of our providers out of local authority, the outcomes aren't as great as if they were kept in Bristol. So if they go off to a lovely, leafy Edinburgh, they're not going to learn the skills of how to deal with Bristol. So when they come back to live in Bristol, they won't know our transport, they'll have no friends, they don't know their community, and that's what Project Rainbow is all about tackling, is how can we improve our provision in Bristol, educationally and residentially, teaching those life skills that they're going to need to be happy adults. So Project Rainbow looked at, first of all, the education side, so worked really closely, all of us with Bristol College. They have now revised their whole curriculum for foundation learning, and particularly designed for September, so that's last September, a Progressing into Independence course. So that was a 4 or 5 day course provision. It was an accredited City and Guilds qualification that all young people get, and it exposed them to 6 different work opportunities. I've got to try and remember them all. So there's retail, horticulture, catering, hospitality, IT, I can't remember what the sixth one is, but you get the gist. So basically, rather than them ever reach thinking, I just want to cook, we actually expose them to lots of different work environments and work placements and learned about those roles as part of the course. So that was a big part of it. The next part of the course was work placements. So they're actually having work experience and meaningful work experience. So it's not just having a look, that's what it's like being a chef. They actually are in the kitchens or they're front of house welcoming guests into the restaurant. And then as they develop that in the college, because they've got the facilities in the college, it then develops to outside college with other employers. So it can be completely bespoke for that young person, depending on where their skills are and their confidence and how well they're doing. So that was the second key thing for Project Rainbow, was the work elements, because a lot of our young people have no idea what employment or what they would like to do as adults, and this course was aimed to cover that. And then the third element of Project Rainbow is the house, is the residential side of things. So residentially, we've managed to secure a house within about 2 months of us meeting and deciding we wanted a house, which was pretty amazing for a local authority. We have now refurbished it. It's been, some of the other students from the college helped paint part of the accommodation. It's got about an acre of land around it, so other students at the college are also going to be accessing the house to do horticulture. There'll be veggie patches, allotments, polytunnels I think are in situ as we speak. So it's not just going to be for that particular, the PI course as we call it, the Progressing into Independence course, but it will also be a wider community feel as well. So the house is all ready, keys have just been handed over to the college, so full residential will start in September. So particularly for the Project Rainbow young people, they'll be accessing that residential training. So it's not residential care, it's training. It's a training centre for young people to learn how to live as independently as possible, and they'll also get an accreditation for those skills. So the idea, and this is what we'll be going on to next, is we'll be having qualifications that they can take to a landlord and say, I have got these skills that I'd be a really good tenant. So have I covered all those? I think I have. So what next? So we have achieved lots this year, and the young people have really settled in great and enjoying the course. So next year our aims are, we're going to get the young people residing in the training centre, and there are spaces for other young people as well. I know the college have expanded the PI course now, so there'll be 3 PI courses rather than just the one that we had this year. I've mentioned the certification for independent living skills. They're going to also, the young people on that PI course will also learn about joining the Safe Places scheme, and that's something that's just been revised, so we're looking to be involved in that new development. Travel training has been another massive element of the course, so we're going to get the young people travelling as independently as possible from the house to college. Obviously you can read all the other bits and pieces on there. The PI course will basically lead into a sport internship. So after sport internship, our young people, the aim is to get them into some sort of employment of their choice. We've identified a second property, so work's going to be starting on developing what the use of that residential training centres for, and that will be available next September. And as I say, we're looking out for a third property. So the idea is that we have a little portfolio of property in the city, so it will offer different opportunities for different groups of young people. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That deserves a round of applause. That sounds fantastic. Fantastic vision for Bristol. Thank you very much for coming and telling us about that. That's really fantastic news. Can I just clarify, for people at the back, can you only hear if this microphone's right up by our mouths? Okay. So for all other speakers, you have to put the microphone by your mouth. Okay? So I'll just get this slide. Thank you. This is Nikita Singh.
Hello. Is that okay? There's a weird echo, that's why it's freaking everyone out. Okay. So my name's Nikita Singh, and I'm also a SEND Operation Development Planning Manager, and my main portfolio is mainstream 5 to 16. So Mary and I are within the same team. And the reason we've started off with that Project Rainbow presentation is because today's activity is all about transfers, or transitions as we call it in education. And I really wanted to be able to set the scene of what happens post-16, because even if your child's in early years, you can see what might be possible in the future, and I think that helps. So just before we start the actual activity, we've got a short presentation to do on a parent-carer survey we've done recently. So we did a survey in July 2016, and hopefully lots of you had a chance to contribute towards that. It was a really broad survey. It asked about lots of different services, whether they were health, educational, social care, and the point was to really find out what parent carers and young people felt about our services from themselves. It's completely anonymous, and in total we had 437 responses. And there were 4 sections within the survey. So it was getting support, planning support, services you use, transitions. And when we say transitions, that's what we also mean as transfers. So there was a section specifically about how do you feel about those transfers between education settings and services and things like that. And that's because parent carers have raised with us again and again that that's something they find isn't working as well as it should. It's available from Findability. So if you want to have a look, please do go along and you can read all of the results there. We can go to the next slide. I'm not sure you can see this, but it is available on Findability, but it gives you a summary of within that section what kind of responses we got. So on the most part, it was agree, was the response. So the responses were completely agree, agree, disagree, completely disagree, I don't know and I don't use this service. And on the most part, people agreed that their transitions were okay. You know, they did kind of work, they did feel in control of what was happening around them. And that it was a good process. But in terms of understanding the process before going into it, that was the weak point within the survey results. So parent carers felt once they were going through transitions, things kind of clicked in and things happened. But in terms of having information available on what to expect those transitions and transfers to look like, that wasn't available. Which is why we thought we'd take this opportunity today to do some group work and co-production to see whether we can get better information out on those transitions. Can we go to the next slide? I'm going to hand over to Maria now.
I've got one. Thank you. So this is how do you feel about transitions, transfers between education settings? Right, so some parents said moving from mainstream to specialist went well thanks to specialist schools transition plan, and that's from primary survey respondents. Second, respondents were preparing for adulthood survey. The settings were great, supportive from organisations providing apprenticeships less clear. From secondary survey, respondents said it was patchy and not properly coordinated. And from early years survey, most staff at this nursery had a good understanding, but the class teachers seemed to lack of understanding of knowledge to do with my child. Fair enough. Feedback themes. Some respondents felt that they went, when services are involved, transitions went better. This was particularly true to early years. Very few respondents felt there was a plan for the transition and that they are involved in. This made it difficult for them to feel they knew what would happen and when. Some respondents felt that their transitions were supported very well by the settings and named individual members of staff who supported the transitions. And some respondents talked about how they would like more information on what services are available and what should happen during the transition.
So hopefully that gives you a feel of some of the feedback we've had on transitions, and I'm hoping that perhaps there's some of the things you're feeling towards transitions as well. So the point of today's workshop is to look at mapping out those transfers in education. So you should all be sat on a table within an age range that interested you. So whether that's early years into primary, mainstream into specialist, post-16 in out of education possibly. You should all be sat. And with you on your table, there'll be a professional who works within education. Hands up. Hopefully they're all in the room. They're not going to be experts and to be able to tell you exactly what should happen. They just happen to work within the education field. And the idea of today's activity is that we're just thinking together about what transitions should look like or could look like. So the main question is, What is the experience, or should be the experience, of the different people involved in a child or young person's transfer between educational settings? So what should it feel like for the young person who's going from one setting to another? What should it feel like for their parent carers? What should be happening around the schools? All of those conversations. So on your table, you'll have a flip chart in front of you. There we go, we got it. And you'll also have one of these folders, and it might be a white envelope. And within it, you'll have one of these. Just trying to juggle that. Yeah, is that all right? In this sheet, it maps out what the activity is involved in, and it also gives you a description of different stickers. So, in your pack, you also have sheets of stickers, and these are the different people involved in transfers or transitions. In that document, it says what each of the stickers stand for. So what you're doing is you're putting them onto your sheet, and then with a pen describing what you think might be that young person's experience, or should be, or that parent carer's, and when that should happen. We've also got some sticky labels that have important calendar dates on it, so if you want to use those to help you map out the timeline that things might happen, feel free to use those. If you run out of things to say about that sticker sheet, you've got an envelope that says added extra, so you can open up that envelope and it's got other topics in it. Again, within that handout, it explains what each of those stickers stand for, and you can have conversations about those as well. If you run out of stickers, I've got spares. I got very sticker happy yesterday. And if you have any problems, please I'll be wandering around and willing to help. So if that's okay, is that all right?
Okay, and all Bristol parent carer facilitators, in your packs you've got your green resources for this workshop, okay? Parent carer facilitators, this is to help the education staff. You've got your green pack, remember? There's the workshop aims on bits of paper, and you should be able to run this workshop.